Okay, we're live right now.
All right.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever Reefer Riot marijuana apologetics discussion section live stream event that we're having here. I have one of my good friends, Javier Gonzalez, on the other side, and today we're only starting off setting up the basic premise of what we're going to be achieving here. And in the end, we hope to just elaborate on the debate of cannabis. We believe that cannabis has been wrongfully placed and illegalized over the time, and we'll be divulging different aspects of why it's wrong and why we should actually be, moving towards a legal system, a legal framework. And today we'll be focusing mainly on freedom of choice, freedom of consumption, and who has the ultimate authority over your body. So I'm just going to hand over here to Javier so he can do a brief introduction, and then we'll jump straight into the conversation. Javier.
Right. Well, I've been kind of focusing on this problem for a while from a economic perspective, mainly, but.
But tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump.
All right. I'm an economist. Studied economics in the University of Arizona. Worked at a research center for a few years at Washington, D.C. with an experimental economics group. There I studied a little bit under the Austrian economist George Mason, and been in love with liberty ever since.
Awesome. And what's your relationship with cannabis? When did you start?
Oh, the first, we're going to do this pot history thing. Like, what's his name now? Doug Benson, you know. Getting Dog with High.
Super High Me?
No. But have you seen the podcast?
No, I don't think I've seen the podcast.
Okay. They do a little pot history, and they ask people what was your first time or whatever. But my relationship started as a consumer problem when I was 19 or something like that, and it was actually at a party with a friend of mine in Phoenix. One of the most interesting things is that Americans tend to believe that Mexicans are much more. There's a higher tendency of people to consume marijuana in Mexico, but that's not really the case. Most people, a lot of my friends, haven't really tried it, or had a very almost non-existent relationship with it. And it was my time living in the United States that actually kind of permitted, going to college there. When I first went to college, I tried it at a party at ASU, hanging out with a bunch of wrestlers. It was, I liked it, and I did it very, I'd say very occasionally for the first 10 years. I've been getting much more into it for the last 6 years, I'd say. Take it more daily, or at least a couple of times a week. But if it's time to go to sleep, I'll probably just do that instead of taking a vat of scotch. It's better for me. It helps me work a little better. Awesome. I don't have to hang over the next day. I mean, I certainly. My motivation is it emanates from my love of freedom, of people doing whatever the hell they want, as long as they can own, because they own themselves, because I believe that people own themselves and the product of their body and that liberty that they innately have, because they're beautiful human beings that deserve to be respected. Yeah. What they have, what they own, their decisions, their fuck-ups. From that angle, I'll always love it, but when I started using more regularly, it became personal. It became like, well, this is what I want to do. And I didn't like you getting into my shit or anybody else's shit before, but now that I have a motivation, I'm going to probably try a little harder, because it's in my benefit now. To me, it's become a medicine. It's become something that I use, a tool, to work. It allows me to focus more because I know what to get. I get sativa. That's mainly what I do because it allows me to work. It allows me to work better. I can work. I don't get as panicky about not getting shit. I don't get stuck as much. It allows me to flow a little better because it allows me to think non-linearly.
Yeah.
I have ideas, whereas before I would actually hit a lot of walls and just not get through with a lot of things. Oh, I knew the pieces were there, but I wasn't very good at connecting dots, and now it's a lot easier for me.
Awesome.
And that is my relationship with it, and that's as an economist, and I don't know if I can qualify myself a philosopher, although.
No, we're all philosophers. That's you know. I think everybody that smokes cannabis, to some degree, is a philosopher.
Well, no, I would say that
philosophy, but hey.
Well, Socrates was a lot cooler with it. He was just like, well, look, if you love knowledge, that's exactly what he means. To be a philosopher is to be a lover of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's
well, for me personally, I started way earlier. I started when I was about 13, and ever since then, I knew I was going to smoke cannabis, and that it was going to be a part of my life. And in the beginning, I don't really advocate kids using it because I think during those development stages, there's a lot of things that you actually have to analyze about yourself without having the cannabis effect on your brain. But nonetheless, my story did not go like that. I actually went through it. And there were a couple of years that I quit, just went sober, and I didn't really do anything. That was time of personal reflection.
Right. And that should be made clear, at least for myself. A little parenthesis here is just I go months that I could just go dry, and I sometimes do. Sometimes I don't have a choice. You can't fucking get it over here, and then you don't get it. And I don't kill anybody. I don't kill myself. It's just that's how it rolls. Sometimes you have to go without it, and that's fine. It's not like Coke or something like that. You don't. It's not physical reaction. It's just a psychotropic drug. So it's.
I recently did a 7-day fast. Just completely quit because every now and then I think it's actually beneficial for you to just go dry.
Oh yeah. No. Sometimes I just do it too. It's just like, hey, look, I'm just gonna wait for a couple of weeks and come back to it. And just it is what it is.
But anyway, I was fortunate enough to eventually get a little bit into the marijuana industry, and I now manage a bunch of brands, and I do social media campaigns and stuff for a bunch of cannabis brands. And so, based on all of that, I thought this would be a good thing to start, to have people that are from diverse backgrounds that have different perspectives on it, and just to get together and discuss this topic of 76 years of prohibition in the United States and outsourced to the rest of the world. So, I think it's an issue that really, if you smoke or you don't smoke, it does affect you one way or another. And today, we're going to be focusing on a main core theme, which is it's your body, it's your mind, and liberty really should be the base of our own consumption. And for somebody to tell us that you can't do this or you can't do that when you don't hurt anybody else, that is a big bullshit. So why don't you start us off with a little bit
just
liberty aspect of why you
the liberty, the very foundation of the liberty aspect, even if you go, if the concept of a right, it's a little too Hobbesian for somebody.
Yeah.
If it's exceedingly if people could probably perceive a right to be a bullshit construct, a word that people throw. It's like, you say a right, you have a right to do this and do that, but then you have to explain how you believe that you are entitled to something that it's to your own, only that you can that you can give yourself, not the boundaries of what a right is and what just an actual privilege is. What is you don't really have a right to an education. It'd be nice if you do, but you don't have a right to that. You have a right to yourself. You have a right to own your own body. That's the most fundamental. You have it's and the concept, and then a concept of a right could be explained simply as being allowed to own yourself, and that means to just be free, and it boils down to being free. But people want, instead of recognizing that everybody should have the liberty to own his body and the product of it, whatever your decision is to do with it, whether to produce or not, the liberty to sit on your couch and do shit, but dealing with the consequences that if you don't do anything for anybody else, nobody should be forced to pay your fucking meals.
Liberty isn't free. Liberty costs, and whatever your actions is, you've got
exactly. So if you actually own to it, you own to the fact that you don't have a right to infringe on everybody your preferences, what you want or what you don't want. You probably want to just squat on your fucking couch and live off somebody else. It's no different. It's no different an imposition than somebody sitting in their little tight chair and being pissed off because their neighbor is, having sex with another man.
Yeah.
That concept is not any different of what you're putting into your own body. This is fucking straight up Kafkaesque that somebody else can actually come and be concerned of what the fuck you're doing, with yourself when there's no other victim to your actions than yourself. And and if you don't consider yourself a victim, this is just a fucking treatment. Then you really are talking Orwellian. Well, actually, Kafkaesque is actually a little better in this particular case. I mean, it's inordinate to me how we came to a point that we have to justify chemistry in our own fucking mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that it would be the same as atheists literally pursuing Catholics or all the other religions for kneeling down and start praying and getting into an outer state of mind because they're praying, because they're want to participate in this. I'm trying really hard not to be offensive, but not to participate in a delusion, a fucking mass delusion of a white man with a beard, sitting in a fucking cloud. If you want to do that,
well,
hold on a second. But what I'm saying is it would be equally crazy that I would go out and say, well, you're altering your chemistry by deeply breathing, kneeling down, but you actually also trying to tell me about you'll justify it with this weird belief system that you'll justify a lot of atrocities that you want to do after that. I consider that more dangerous because a lot of fucking people justify a lot of things after getting very religious. They get sometimes very uppity against another religion because they want to blame them for whatever the fuck that happens. You will never see a guy smoking weed getting up and trying to start shit. It doesn't happen. So there is there's a double standard of morality. There's a double standard of morality.
Because some people do smoke weed and do stupid shit.
Yeah.
But is that weed to blame, or is that the person?
That's my point. That's my point. Fuck the weed. Fuck the weed for a second, and just take a cross section of people and see what they do.
Exactly.
But, what is that causes the most assholes? What? Drinking? Yeah, sure. The fucking drunks, they get smashed, man, and they just want to run the fucking car across the light because fuck it. It's fun. It's like I don't give a fuck anymore. That's the point you get when you get drunk. Yeah. You get belligerent.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens when you get drunk, man. You get into two states when you're drunk. You get too apologetic, or you get belligerent. You're either fucking crying, telling somebody how you love them, or you fucking really want to beat his ass up because you don't even know.
You want to go and do insane shit and dance and whatever. It doesn't really. It doesn't really matter what people do in these states. What matters is who these people are doing these.
What I'm saying, you're right. I mean, that you could actually say, well, look, this guy. It reminds me of that Bill Hicks joke. The one guy that fucked it up. You hear these LSD stories.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that fucking, a young man took LSD and went to the top of the fucking building, such a building, and jumped off and, you know, splattered in the fucking sidewalk, man.
If you could fly, why didn't you just take off of the ground, man? It's
it's like Bill Hicks. It's like, well, that guy's a fucking asshole.
Good point.
He's a fucking asshole. He should have died.
Idiot.
Like,
and you can't blame an entire population.
Die, you know, why couldn't he just take off the ground? You don't see dogs lining up on a fucking elevator to take off.
And the thing is, you can't typecast an entire population of people because of the actions of a few. And if those people are like inclined,
and that's my point. That's my point. My point is, okay, so let's just look at it from that perspective. I mean, instead of seeing too scattered, we could try to just kind of lay it out. You know, you could have a, say, medical case. We start with the premise that we own ourselves, but let's try to play devil's advocate for a second. Let's say that we owe it to society to look at all possible angles.
Well, that's the point. That's why we're here. We're actually discussing all
the danger. Yeah. We run the danger of being cosmic schmucks. You know, we get just, you know, do a little echo chamber. Well, let's analyze it. Let's analyze it from every single point that we could actually figure it out. We could talk about, you know, the harm we could do to ourselves, like medical, like the medical angle, the health problem angle, supposedly. Then we could look at the other aspect is, you know, what a burden you are to society.
Yeah.
From that particular angle. Yeah. And we could compare, you know, all the facts as a third leg to my milk stool.
Yeah. The point is, when we look at all of those aspects anyway.
No, the third one would be compare the facts to the myths. We've actually seen what the health myths would be, what the society myths would be, and then what we could compare facts and myths about compared with other substances as well. Yeah. I mean, just from any from any angle that you want to take it, a lot of the people that supposedly worried about the people that do it because of their own mental health, that's the first thing they sell you. It's like, well, kids.
Yeah, but at the same time, if they're really that afraid of your health, then why the hell do they, you know, feed you junk food? Why do they not put on that?
That's the dual morality. That's the dual morality. That's what I'm saying. Look,
why are some behaviors permitted that are destructive?
The health aspect of it, the health aspect of consumption is, well, what do you do to your body? Obviously, I'm not fucking dying with 400,000 other people, or 399,999 people. I'm not one of the 400,000 that die from smoking tobacco. I'm not one of those. You know, if I'm smoking weed and I'm only smoking weed, I'm of the people that don't fucking die. So that's my composition. That's what I do. So if I'm not hurting myself, and we all know that I'm not hurting myself, what is the moral justification of, well, I have to watch you?
No, and what's the moral justification of we still have to study it? You know, they say that they have to weigh the health risk benefits and whether it's going to be damaging to your.
But that's bullshit.
System. But you know, it's not like weed's something new.
No, see, very old. But that's horseshit. The data is already there.
Yeah, you can just look at the current 20 million smokers. Between 20 and 30 million tokers in the U.S.
In recorded history, nobody's ever smoked. Nobody's ever smoked. In recorded history, nobody smoked themselves to death.
No.
Ever. No. They did a fucking study that, you know, that try to justify it. I can't remember exactly, and I should, because I could probably look like a douchebag, but I know this is.
Well, this eventually go and
one because they were actually trying to prove a point, and they were trying to smoke. It was paid by the same people that trying to America Free of Drugs, or whatever the fuck the name of it is.
For a
free America, for a drug-free America, I think.
Yeah.
For a drug-free America, I'm pretty sure. One of those anti-war or whatever DA-backed associations They did a study with mice, and they determined that they would have to make the mice smoke the equivalent to what it would be to us. I'm sorry, what they make the mice smoked that killed them would be equivalent for us humans needing to smoke 1,500. I'm sorry, no. 1,500 kilograms.
Pounds. So 1,500 pounds.
I'm sorry.
Within 15 minutes of consumption.
Yeah, something like that. About 15 minutes, probably 1,500 pounds. I'm sorry. I thought it was kilograms. It could have been pounds. You're right. In 15 fucking minutes. But at that point, you'd have to question: is that really the pot or the THC content or the fucking smoke, man? I mean, if you have to smoke that much pot, you probably your lungs would probably just couldn't take it. It probably had nothing to do with the fucking pot at that point. You know what I mean? So there is no verifiable damage as, you know, tobacco is shown or as alcohol is shown or fucking cheeseburger is shown. But somehow there's still this fucking tendency that is not justified in any health. When it comes to health, they lose it really fast, and that's why I thought it was the easiest target, because the data just isn't there for them, and it's being used as a fucking medicine. The government hands out, the United States government hands out marijuana to certain people as medicine.
I know.
And they say that, and when the same breath, they say that there's no health benefits for the fucking thing, and it's one drug.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I mean, it's very hypocritical at a very public level. It's not like they're hiding this shit.
So medicine, we're cool. We're covered, man. I mean, I didn't bring all the data, but it's so much out there.
I've got a bunch of
studies from the Complutense University. I can't remember her name, but it's a woman.
That's one of the verses of marijuana.
Yeah.
That person, I know exactly the story, but yeah.
I can look it up.
We'll bring the sources at the end. We'll bring it in.
She was the one that found not too long ago in Spain, and her colleagues, they were the ones that found that conclusive evidence that it killed cancer cells. THC killed cancer cells in the brain. Yeah. In the fucking brain, man. I mean, there's evidence.
The point being, so even on a medical angle, there's no justification.
From the healthcare angle, it's not only not the fucking harm they make it out to be.
Yeah, it's
the opposite. It's a fucking actual benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if you want to go this let's say
that's just smoking it recreationally. If you are allowed to grow and eat the leaves, make yourself smoothies, man, seriously, your life would be completely different.
Right. See, a lot of people say, well, the psychological angle, if we go back to the asshole that jumps off the fucking roof, if we go to that, because that could be another argument. That could be another valid argument. But if we fucking analyze it, there's people that are going to have stupid tendencies, regardless of what they fucking consume. So there's a lot of fucking people on alcohol that fucking die. I mean, the number of people that fucking die because
the U.S. is about 80,000.
While drunk as fuck. It's leaps and bounds over anybody overdosing with a fucking needle in their arm, let alone weed.
Alcohol by itself, it induces more deaths per year than all illegal drugs together.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, if you look at the death pool of illegal drugs that are dude, you're gonna go to jail for 20 years because you were caught with a smack, dude.
Right.
That stuff kills less people per year than alcohol does.
So the point really being is that the mental impairment that it's supposed to cause all this shit is just not there. There are assholes that are gonna do shit, and that is unfortunate. But that's a mental problem. I mean, there's gonna be motherfuckers out there that probably gonna smoke.
But that's the point. The point is, if you consume and don't hurt anybody,
exactly,
that's
my point. But it should be on the on the fucking person that actually consumes this and not on the product itself.
Go
Because,
after crime. If somebody's high on whatever and goes
if
out
somebody
and commits a crime,
if you go and have a drink with somebody, you're telling them, if you go and say, hey, dude, let's go after work, why don't we go and have, and it's cool to say it, you get fucking at work and say, like, let's go and have a drink after work, because, you know, I'm stressing out, man, and I really need a fucking drink. You can say it out loud, you can invite the boss and everybody, and the fucking owner of the company, or whatever the fuck, or the clients, you can entertain clients getting drunk as fuck on a titty bar. That happens a lot. That is corporate America. That shit happens. I know a lot of the dudes that do it. Yeah. It's cool to go and get drunk as fuck. That's fine. And you're taking a drug. It's no less a drug, and it's more damaging to your fucking to your entire system.
Yeah.
It kills brains.
That's the point. If you were to be drunk, high, or whatever, and go out and do a crime, and commit stupid shit, and go into, you know, the hood and trying to be all tough and shit like that.
No, but the point, the basic point really is whether what you decide to put in your body is your right. Yeah. But you should fucking really, but it should become also, whatever you do under it should become the responsibility of the individual. I mean, it's not, you can't really legislate people's behavior. You can't. No. No matter what, fucking how much you want to do it, people are going to still do things their way. You can't just do it. But if you actually legislate it and try to, like, say, well, you will punish people for consuming that fucking thing, but then if somebody who's actually consuming that and, you know, that's something to make them an asshole, and you actually also protect them at the same time, you know, your intervention in this cycle is actually more destructive. If you would say, like, look, you can do weed, but whatever the fuck you do while you're on weed, it's on you. Yeah. That's the essence of it. It's like if people that are stupid would be a lot more careful.
Well, that's what they do with alcohol.
You have to know that maybe weed is not for you. So if you try,
maybe alcohol isn't for you. You know,
maybe it's your thing.
It's your choice on what you have to.
You have to face. You know, you have to face the consequences of whatever you fucking do. And that's the whole point. I mean, if you just,
regardless of what state you're in, it doesn't matter. If you're going to be a dick, then you.
What I'm saying is that the psychological, you know, being an asshole, jumping off the roof argument doesn't fucking work either. Yeah. We can agree on that. I mean, we flushed it out. You know, you could be a fucking drunk and a fuck up, and you could be smoking weed and a fuck up. It's not. It doesn't justify, you know, allow it because some fucking people can't handle it. Well, some people can't fucking handle alcohol. Yeah. You know, so we don't do that because people would probably fucking kill you if you actually said, you know, let's prohibit alcohol again. Outside of fucking Utah or some fucking weird places like that, they're gonna tell you fucking crazy. Nobody would do that. And in 100 years, if you try to fucking prohibit weed, they'll probably want to strangle you just as bad because it will be fucking widely and universal free in 100 years, man. I mean, not free to have and free to own if you fucking work for it. Yeah. You know, if you want to make your own or whatever, you know, have your aquaponic little garden there, it'd be fucking fantastic, wouldn't it? Yeah. Grow some tomatoes.
Some tomatoes and some sweet Cuba, man.
Some sweet fucking AK-47.
Yeah, man, you got to get that. Now, so I mean, that's
not out to AK-47 if they want to send me a gram, somebody.
Yeah. So when we come down to that point, man, it's like really judge the people based on what they do.
Well, we just attacked one of the fucking you know, leg on my
many veins towards this conversation.
So the healthcare point, your body or your mind, that's gone, and almost immediately also your consequence to society because we attacked it a little bit. Nobody goes out if you're stoned as fuck. You're not gonna go out and try and drive a car. That's the last thing you're gonna do. It's not like drunk and driving. You know that. If you're high as fuck,
if you're way too down,
you want to ponder things. You want to think about things. You want to create. You don't want to go out and get in a fight or trying to hump somebody or some shit like that. I mean, some people say that you become a little lazy or something like that. I think that those people just are doing it wrong. They're doing the wrong thing.
They don't have the motivation to do anything.
Yeah, they don't have the motivation. It's
once more, motivational syndrome is really non-existent. It's if you're a loser, you're a loser, man. It's man up. Be the loser. If you're gonna be it, just be the loser. And it doesn't really matter, man. It doesn't matter what you put into your body. And that's where it comes down to. Do you own your body? Because if they can tell you what you can and cannot put into your body, do you really own your body, and are you really free?
Well, that's the thing. If you actually look at the concept of self-ownership, if you own your body, today, I'm sorry. If you own your body, let's start with the premise that you own your body today. We can accept that. If you own your body yesterday, or the day before, or 5 years ago, or whatever, you own the product of whatever you did all that time previous to today. That's on you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You own your time.
The time that you were free to do so, whatever you put in and you get out, that's yours. So you're free to own things. You should be, and nobody should be able to take anything away from you. Yeah. And if you own yourself and you own yourself tomorrow, that means, if you own yourself today, that means that you're free. You own yourself today, that means that you're free. If you accept that nobody else owns you, you should accept the fact that you are inherently then free from any collective to dominate and take or do whatever the fuck they want with you today.
Yeah.
You're free to move around. You're free to consume. You're free to live. You're free to,
exist. To
exist. Absorb a reality, however you want to do it. However you want to contemplate your relationship to whatever surrounds you and whatever you can actually, perceive. Whatever is your reality, that will be, being whatever in the fuck you're doing, that makes you happy, and, you're not costing anybody else, you're not infringing on anybody else's, say, harmonious existence.
Yes.
Go ahead and do it. That is you. You own yourself. As long as you don't fuck with anybody else, you own yourself today.
And then there are laws that.
Yeah, no. But if you own yourself, if you own yourself today, and we accept that you own yourself in the past, that means that all your possessions or all your lackings are yours, and they should not be, and they have been robbed if you're a grown individual by government. That's one of the things they do. They take your shit. They don't participate in the process, but they take from you. Or maybe if you lived in a place that is dominated by a cartel, they also take shit from you. That doesn't make it cool. It's just different gangs with different uniforms. They just wear different colors. They call themselves different things. In the past, it was the church. People taking shit from you or making you a slave, not being able to move from one place to another. But let's get away from that. Let's keep it, just simple. You own yourself today. You're free, and you own yourself in the past. So whatever you have is yours. You own yourself in the future. That means that you own your body. You are free to live or die as you fucking please. So that also means the chemistry in your body. The reason that I was trying, and probably was jumping a little too fast about talking about religion, is that some people decide to make certain, we could call them rituals. They do, we've done it for thousands of years. They go and kneel down and jump around and pray to Jesus or whatever, and that's their thing. But that's how they perceive reality. It affects your chemistry when you go in there, and it affects people's fucking chemistries when they go and applaud some socialist jackass.
I mean, if you
making populist propaganda and shit like that, talking about the state and on the rights they have to own other people's fucking things and shit like that.
Yeah.
That has an effect on people's realities.
Of course, it's got a severe effect because it affects their decision making.
It changes their chemistry. It changes their chemistry both ways, because the people that are up there in the fucking pedestal talking about this and that, and how they have to be heard and shit like that, and how they have all the answers either to Jesus or the will of the people. All those motherfuckers also get high. There have been studies. There's also been studies about how power, political or public power, whatever the fuck you want to call it, actually has the same effect as cocaine in the brain. They get addicted. The addiction to power is no longer an abstract thing. It's a real thing. They study it. They get high on this shit. Their brain chemistry changes. So that, and the consequences of getting high on power are fucking horrible. Why are we not looking at that? Why are we not looking at fucking people getting high on that? So if we own our future, we should be able to own whatever we put in our bodies or how we perceive our fucking reality. And if the people decide to go to church and chant to a fucking slapstick savior, as Doc Stanhope call it, or, you know, they want to go and praise fucking socialism or whatever the fuck they want to do, you know, that's completely fine as long as they can own that and let me own my own decisions. Exactly. I want to go and say, like, look, this is my line, and in here, I smoke weed and I fucking, you know, I hunt, I don't know, I hunt deer with a fucking bow and arrow. That's what I want to do. That's my fucking thing, and, you know, I own myself. That's, you know, this is not your deer, this is not your body, this is not your land.
Yeah, and if I don't affect you in any way, shape, or manner, then
that's
be.
Why, if we can jump a little bit into economics now, that's why the concept of externality exists, and there's no real externality. That's why the concept of a crime requires a fucking victim. You know, smoking a fucking plant should not be, consuming anything should not be a crime. It can't be a crime if there's no fucking victim. The only thing I'm doing is buying something. You're like, well, you're dealing with drug dealers because you're fucking making me. You know, if I could go to 7-Eleven, I wouldn't be fucking buying it from some dude with fucking rastas all over his fucking hair and smelling like fucking patchouli all day or something. I would buy it at 7-Eleven, man. I wouldn't fucking look back. Yeah. I would buy it anywhere where it would be legal. But the fact is that you are essentially, you know, just keeping some people repressed. It is a form of repression, a collective repression.
Aggression. I think it's more of an aggression because that's a direct aggression against your liberty.
Sure.
You having the say over what you can and cannot.
And that's what I'm saying. Look, an externality is an externality because you're affecting somebody else. The same thing as a crime. A crime is a crime because, you know, a crime is stealing property, is, you know, depriving somebody of their liberty, mugging. Or killing somebody. That's a fucking real crime. And when you go around and chase, because that's another thing we can briefly get into. Here in Mexico, since the loss of 100,000 people, which is, I'm pretty sure the real number, probably fucking more than that by now.
Yeah.
That's not even fucking half of it, man. There's a lot of fucking people that died because of the bullets and all that crap. But the matter of the fact is that when we started fighting this fucking fight in behest of Washington, D.C., because that's why we're doing it. That's the only fucking reason we're doing it. We're doing it because the Americans want us to fucking fight this war. That's it. That's the only fucking reason. We went as far as to legalize consumption in 2009. Why couldn't we fucking legalize fucking production all as well? You know, just the whole package. No, we're still fighting it. Only under fucking behest. One of the problems, one of the costs we have, because they prompted us with this Yucatan or Merida...
Merida Initiative?
Yeah, initiative. The Merida Initiative, where they had promised us something along the lines of... $1.3 billion or billion American billion, $1,300 million or $1,300 million American dollars, and up to this point, I don't think they even gave us half of it. So we're in the hole with with this money. We've actually lost more than that. If you taking into account all the fucking human lives you lost and all the properties and the decline in safety, in public safety, has cost us foreign investment has dropped like a motherfucker. You know why? Because it's not safe to come here. Ever since you what did we do when the United States started putting the pressure on us? We shipped resources in Mexico from just simple crimes. I mean, not simple, but just not drug related.
Do you know that the murder rate, of unsolved murders,
Exactly. No, not only every single crime has gone up. Murder, theft, kidnapping, everything has gone up. But not only that, the impunity has skyrocketed because they get away with it. Nobody's fucking chasing after them. So we're not really going after real crimes. We're chasing a made-up crime, something that fucking politicians made up because the United States is telling them to. In here, it's really that. It's not like we have Pfizer here, like a big fucking lobbyist thing. They don't need that. The companies, they just buy the United States or whatever the United States it's being bought by, spills over here because they just tell us what the fuck to do. Yeah. And these motherfuckers do it. That's all there's to it. It's the only real reason. It's the only real reason why we don't have more legalization. I mean, they probably put a bullet to my head, but I don't give a fuck at this point. I mean, I really don't. I just stopped caring. What the worst they can do is kill me. That's cool, man. I'll take that. As long as I can mouth off in the meantime.
We're just talking, man. Just smoking out ideas. That's all we're doing.
I know.
Anyway, the point is here, man. I think. There's no real justification to make people take away your right to put whatever you put into your body. They don't have any right to really enforce those kind of rules because that is completely...
Well, you're right about that. The fact is that they don't have a right.
They don't have that right.
They don't have a right to do it. That is a given.
And that is why that is one of the principal reasons I believe that cannabis should be legal, whether you smoke or you don't smoke.
But
the fact
that in itself, as I said before, it needs a justification. We could talk about self-ownership as we did, and that's how we jump into on self-ownership, because you have to justify the concept of a right. A right is somewhat of a made-up concept. It's not something that exists in life. We understand ownership because you have, you have sole claim of transfer of property. You know, so if you own something, you and only you can sell it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to talk about a right if we talk about simple concepts as that. It's the fact is, if you own yourself, if you own yourself in the past, you own yourself in the present, you own yourself in the past, you own your property, you own yourself in the present, you own your liberty, and you own yourself in the future, you own your life. Whatever in the fuck you want to do with it.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that I've try to use these milk stools or whatever as I try to just build it into 3 columns. The fact of the matter is that whatever it is, if it's the healthcare aspect or if it's the societal aspect, it still doesn't have any justification if you accept the fact that you own yourself. Exactly. And everybody else does too. At that point, there is no single justification unless you want to justify it using your own made-up belief system that makes you get through life.
Yeah.
Maybe religion or socialism, whatever the fuck you want. But then you have to see your evil and the duplicity of your justifications. Because I just show you all the data, and you still give a fuck. You just want to know, but it's wrong, man, because it's illegal. That's a fucking circular logic, man. It's no real argument behind that. If we, instead of just using fucking grandiose words or some slogan that, you own yourselves, man, and shit like that, we can explain with facts, with numbers. Look, this is fucking stupid. We were promised 1.3 or 1,300 United States dollars. We haven't got fucking half of that. We've lost more than 100,000 people. We've lost investment. A lot of fucking companies, we've dropped in investment like a motherfucker. We're living in a real crisis. And a lot of it has to do with people don't want to come and do business in a place that keeps raising their fucking taxes, and they can't fucking protect shit. They can't protect anything because it's being run by drugs. What do we do? We double down on the motherfucker, and it doesn't.
Why continue? Why continue at all?
Because people are still stupid, and people are still being manipulated by church, by fucking TV propaganda, by the government, because essentially their interest behind this. They've always been interest. We go back to history in the fucking Stamp Act of 1934. You know, it was all about big business in oil industries and lumber industries and publishing industries that actually got together, and they were trying to block this fucking plant hemp that was really getting into their business. So they had to block hemp, and the only way to block hemp, they had to do it the best way. No, but because
we'll get into the history of cannabis in some other point because it's vast.
Okay.
I just went through a paper the other day that I was sharing with the people. And it was like 12,000 years of marijuana history, and it's vast, man. We can dig deep in that.
Oh no, I know, but okay, let's just
we want to keep it at least within some range, and we've tiptoed over various.
Yeah. You're right, but you know, just the historical reference. What I'm trying to say is the historical reference is there. There's no real justification. There's no real justification. There's always been just, let's say, a very private interest taking advantage of the stupid masses.
And it's still prevalent today.
Yeah, it's prevalent today. I mean, if you have a plant that anybody can grow, that could get into a lot of the businesses in, say, pharmaceuticals, because you probably won't need a lot of the fucking medicine you'd have to take otherwise.
No, of course not.
Yeah. It's just, you know, chemotherapy. There's people that fucking taking hemp oil, and you fucking that's taking away chemotherapy money. You think these motherfuckers are going to take it laying down?
Of course not. Of course not.
But that's
the prison industry.
Those people are running the propaganda machine on all 8 cylinders against just a few of us trying to scream, look, the data, it's right there.
Yeah, but it's working. The thing is, I do believe that we are gaining momentum, like all over the board, all over the world. People are really opening up to the idea of cannabis, and I think in the next few years we will see some radical changes. Yes, I think we've gotten to a point. So let's wrap this one up with some conclusions, closing statements.
Let me just get with the facts then, because I didn't get done with it. It's 1,300 United States dollars. We only got about half of that, I think. I'm pretty sure we haven't got much more than that. We've lost more than 100,000 people. We've lost investment. Foreign investment has dropped crazy. Actually, Sergio Sarmiento has, you know, in his columns he talks about it all the time. Actually, how a lot of that insecurity that has risen as if we've shifted resources from you know, murder and, you know, real crimes with real victims to chasing after, you know, just trying to legislate behavior and preferences, which never really works. I mean, the facts are there to really consider that we just need to actually the other side of the coin that we need to see. And when we actually just see it, is that we can create an actual industry. We make this legal. We can actually not only do we stop losing money and start, you know, shifting resources. Yeah, shifting the resources back to real crimes. But we also get money by, well, freeing a lot of prisoners that shouldn't be there, and freeing a lot of people labor that could be out there. But also there would be jobs created by the ability to produce this plant as a medicine and produce hemp for industrial uses. You know, Mexico as a country, or the states, or whatever, with a little more freedom, probably the states could do it if we were really
there's already official hemp grows happening there, and
right. But you know, but we could be, but at the point that it actually is no longer prohibited, if it's just open, you know, at that point you will be creating industries with a lot of economical benefits. It just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Definitely.
And the problem is that a lot of the blowback is just momentum. It's just dogmatic momentum of previous systems of beliefs. People are the older generations are having a hard time letting go. Where, you know, I still have to hide from certain relatives that are a little older. My younger relatives, they don't give a fuck really. But some of my older relatives, you know, they still make a fuss. They'll probably go away with them, but it's still a cultural fight. The point is that the moment that people just say, like, you know what, fuck it, what are we doing? We're acting stupid. You know what, this is done. let's just, this is stupid.
Well, as younger generations grow up, the paradigm of people between 20 and 40 is like, weed, whatever, and really below 20, nobody knows because they're strange human beings.
We're gonna catch the gravy train, you and I. We're gonna catch the gravy train. We're crotchety old men. I actually will finally be able to go to 7-Eleven and buy myself a pack of AK-47s, man, or fucking Purple Kush.
Yeah.
Or whatever they might have, and that will be a beautiful day. That will be a beautiful day. I'll be old, and I would have wished that I would have had it.
You can be accepted amongst the drunks and smoke.
I'll be able to go to my fucking, nieces and nephews. In my day, I had to roll my own joints. Yeah. I couldn't go and buy them at the fucking corner store. You fucking pussies.
Yeah. No, and that will be a great day, man. I think what needs to happen is that people really need to become a little bit more vocal. They need to really understand the crux of the issue, and that it's not just about weed. It's all about you. It's all about your rights and your liberties and your ownership of your own self. That you take responsibility for your actions, and that's what it's really all about. It's about waking up. Actually, one of the main motivations, because I don't believe that other people should have a say in my consumption. As long as I'm peaceful and as long as I
you would yeah.
So
you want to wait for a second, but yeah, it's essentially
crux of free.
Yeah.
And don't let any slave owner, whether it's corporate.
No, it's about waking up. It's about waking up, man.
Yeah.
It's waking up. It just pay attention. Just pay attention to the facts. Yeah. Pay attention to the facts and try to think what you're doing when you're imposing yourself on somebody else.
Exactly.
Just, if people would take the time to just wake up to simple facts and realities, this doesn't need to be a kumbaya moment.
It's not difficult. It's really simple.
It's a logical one.
Take one step back.
Yeah.
And look at everything from an objective point.
Yeah, we presented arguments.
Yeah.
And we presented valid. I'm sorry, I wasn't really prepared, but I have.
No, well, this was the first one, and we just next time.
I have written the exact figures and the exact sources. The next time we do this, I'll have them all laid out.
Okay, and also, if people find us on this massive thing called the internet and post comments, we will go do the research, create the arguments, and then just divulge it here on this cybernetic space. So, but it's been fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I dug it, man.
I said let's do this weekly, and we'll just see what happens, and just record us and do all that, and yeah, man, we have a good one. You have a good one, and internet, you have a good one as well.
Oh yeah.
So, peace out.
Peace out, brother.